So, who was at fault? What happened to having students thrive in schools, not just educational, but also from a sporting perspective? So, this has been almost 3 years at this point where someone technically was brand new to the field of sports, basically PE. This person has no experience in terms of like putting a team together, putting a schedule together, who's playing who on certain days, and how many times are they playing within a 5, 6, if not 8 month span. Well, that's pretty long actually from a school perspective. So let's just put it at 5 months. So, what should you do? What's best on in terms of making this work? So, I have an experience putting teams together, scheduling teams together, who's which team is going to be playing who in certain days. There could be teams where they're playing 3 times within 2 weeks. There can be a team playing once in 1 month, and then 2, 3 months later they play again. So this person who was brand new was asking another person, let's just say person A, who's well known around the campus, well known putting a sporting event together, and person, let's say M, was saying, oh, hey, let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's go ahead and do it that way. Oh, by the way, how does this work? First of all, person A is putting everything together. How is it? I'm going to say her name, Alejandra Munoz, right? Alex Munoz. How is it that she wants to make sure that she can do it her way, and yet she's asking person A for help? How is it? You are there to help the kids grow from a mental standpoint and also physically. In case once they move on from elementary, they go on to middle school, they are still practicing to become the best they can be. And actually, it helps, right? From a young age, it helps. Not just, like I said, from an educational standpoint, but also physically. You have Alejandra Munoz who's saying, I'm going to do it this way. Oh, by the way, person A, how do you do this? How do you do that? How does the scheduling work? Person A knows what person A is doing. So, if you're going to be in charge of PE or any type of physical education, why is it that Alejandro Munoz wants to be the one to lead the sporting event and yet you don't know what to do? Also, person A always is protective of the sporting equipment. And I know for a fact that from uh, from a baby's perspective, a young age perspective, that babies or like young kids, they see something, they want to break it. You know, I have a cousin that's like younger, that's like, oh, let me see what this is. They explore what that item is. And after that, my cousin would say, oh, what's this? Can I see it? And after that, they would use it. You turn around, and after that, you look back, you see that the equipment is broken. That's just from me saying that my younger cousin is exploring stuff, right? Being protective. Same thing with person A. Person A is very protective of all the equipment. Now, Alejandro Munoz, she wants to be the one to say, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. First of all, you have no idea what you're doing. You go to person A and say, how about we do this? How about we do that? And then person A, who put all the schedules together on whose team is playing who, and most importantly, person A makes sure that each player from each team is making sure that we understand, right? I'm thinking about it from a personal standpoint, from person A standpoint, from Alexandra Munoz perspective. Now, she was fine, right? It seems like person A was telling me that, oh yeah, she is okay, she's good. Over time, she changed, and after that, became a complete control freak and decided, I'm gonna do it this way. If this happens or if this doesn't go through, go speak to the higher ups. And what happened, right? Person A was doing the best in their possibility, right? In their potential of making things work. It was successful in the test run, according to what person A was telling me. But apparently, Alejandra Munoz is saying, I want to do this. And most importantly, person A had given out trophies. What happened over time? I'll bring that up afterwards. So, again, the kids are having fun, they're enjoying volleyball. Person A is making sure the kids are not just behaving, but they understand the rules for volleyball, right? And person A was able to conduct a tournament style volleyball game where several teams compete against each other to see who's going to be in the top eight. Now, moving on a little bit forward, person A had told me, oh, we're going to go ahead and do a playoff bracket. That's fine. Now, person A was telling me we're going to also do a best of three. Best of three for the first two rounds, best of five for the third round. And after that, it was just so successful that people around that site became so amused as to how these group of sixth graders were bad, right? I'm talking about class of 2022. Blah, blah, blah. Can't talk anymore. Class of 2022. That's what person A was telling me, right? Terrible class, but over time, they start behaving. So that's what person A was telling me. So now, moving on to the brackets, it was successful. Everyone was getting into it. Even all teachers were wondering what's going on outside. And I'm reading all this notes here that person had sent to me that apparently all the teachers and staff, custodians, they were so excited that there was something to look forward to and not just work. Work is always going to be work, right? There's going to be days where you're stressed, other days where you're just annoyed, other days where you're happy and you're excited to be there, right? Nothing's perfect. So anyway, it was so successful to the point where, hey, we're gonna do this again for the following year. By the way, shout outs to the Mystics for going all the way. You were I believe, the 2 seed overall, taking out the Sharks, who were the best team at the time, only losing one game, and there was 7 wins for that team. So they went 7-1, and I believe Mystics went 5-2 or 5-3. But yeah, they were the team to beat. They were the champions before. So anyway, trophies encourage the kids to do well over time. So this was something that person A wanted me to put this out there. So Alejandro Munoz, I don't know what you were doing. You are a control freak apparently, and hey, I thought person A was thinking that you're going to be a cool teacher. Speaking about teachers, we're going to have another one soon, so like stay tuned for that. Anyway, this was the short rant apparently person A wanted me to share with you. This was interesting, and stay tuned for the next episode for person A story for the next teacher.